Just a small package of lumber we're getting today, but it's exciting times for me. Being someone that's built my own home and a few other houses, this is the first time on Spring Hill Campground that I'm going to get a chance to pound some nails. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a real simple 2-wall A-frame for my excavator shed. Good morning, exciting time here on the Flanagan homestead. I have my first lumber package to build a structure. So, and it's a Saturday morning. I have to go help a friend go build a woodshed about 20 miles away from here. There's a family in need that just doesn't have a chance to, doesn't have the know-how or the knowledge or the manpower to do it, so we're going to go build for them. And then I'm going to come back and I'm excited to start building this. This is a small lumber package. Actually, it's lumber and metal. It's about $1,500. It's going to be an A-frame shed for my excavator. I'm basically building two 16 by 16 foot walls, get the angles right, and I'm going to tip them up and stand them up there, and then the excavator can pull right inside. And it'll keep my excavator dry. I actually intended, I don't know if we can see it, to go up the road. The excavator's up the road there and across the creek and whatnot and build it there. That's where I want to keep it permanently. But the roads are just dirt right now, and it's raining so much when I'm trying to move rock up there, we're just turning up mud. So I'm gonna, instead of building it over there, I'm gonna build it over here. And one of the beauties of this A-frame design is I'm going to build two walls, put them together, attach them at the top, but not put so much attachments that I can't take it apart. And when the time comes, we'll be able to move it, take the two walls apart and move it up the road, and we can move it not easily, but it won't be real hard. We get a few guys out here, we can take apart the walls and carry them up there. I'm not going to have end walls on it at this point in time, but I want to get this done now, so I'm not going to wait till that dries out. I'll be able to park it right over here. The nice thing is I got permission to trench the power over here. I'm going to have trenching over here for the RV pad, but this is not in the way of anything trying to get gravel up here, trying to get other stuff up here. This will be a good place for it to sit. The other thing I like is this is a design that I'm going to use for cabins on the campground. I'll use much smaller. I'm not going to do it quite as large, but I'll be doing small A-frames, and I will have end walls and everything. And so it'll have the metal siding coming down, and it'll have rough sawn lumber, board and bat front, and rustic country-looking stuff, and it'll be good, an appealing cabin for the campground out here. So I'm gonna have to leave here in 15 minutes to go help out a friend, but I'm gonna start taking apart this package and making the first couple cuts because I'm just excited to get into this. So I've got two 16 by 16 walls, and I'm going to put the bottom about 16 feet apart. I may kick it out a little bit more depending on how much room I want to create, but basically I'm creating an equilateral triangle, so the inside angles are 60 degrees, but because it comes up to a point in the center, that's going to be, I'm going to have to cut a 60-degree angle on those points to come together, and then on the bottom, because it's not off the center, I'm going to have to do a 30-degree angle to have that lay flat on the ground if it's a complete equilateral triangle. Anyway, I'm going to go lay them on the ground, show you what I'm talking about, and it's not going to lay it out exact, but I'll put the speed square on so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm in the bottom center of what would be the structure. If you come up here, and now this is just approximate, they're just laying on the ground, but if I put the speed square on the edge there and pivot it to 60 degrees, this line is pointing straight down to the middle of the structure at the bottom, and that's pretty accurate. Here is where this is going to be on the ground. Pressure treated plate will be underneath this, but we put this at 30 degrees, and then this points. Okay, to build the two walls, I'm going to need 18 of the boards cut with the 60-degree angle and the 30-degree angle on the other end. I'm just going to stay at one end and cut 60s all the way down, and then I'll go to the other end and cut 30s, and so it's a lot more efficient that way instead of just trying to get one board done back and forth. It is important that you remember to do long point. If the long point's on this side, the long point needs to be on the same side on the other one. I've been known, or other people have been known, to cut something and roll it off the pile and then cut an angle at the other end and not keep long points on the same end, which you need to do when you're doing this A-frame project. I'm going to burn through a lot of batteries doing this long angle. Can't wait to get power down here. Glad I put a new blade on this morning. So this is not the standard A-frame where you build the truss that comes to a peak and then tip up trusses at a time. I want to build two walls so that I could take the walls apart and move it in two wall sections. So I'm going to have a top plate and a bottom plate. If I could tip up the camera here, you could see I'm going to have the bottom plate, which is pressure treated, will be sitting on the ground. The top plate will be just standard fir. We're going to do these 2 foot on center. So the line is where one edge of the 2x6 will go. The X is the side it'll sit on, so it'll look like this. The board will sit on it, on just over the X, up to the line. All right, let's start laying out the walls and putting it together. We've got sinkers for the inside protected area, and we've got galvanized 16s for the pressure treated wood and the wood that's going to be sitting on the ground or on a foundation. We want the pressure treated one down on the 30-degree angle. Okay, it's just a little bit after 3 o'clock, so I got back from helping the neighbor at 12:30, so to 3. So 2.5 hours, I got the two 16-foot walls framed, the top one blocked. I really can't go any farther until I get my boys here and get some muscle to help move these things, flip them over so I can get access to the other one, and then hopefully we could put some sheet metal on and stand them up. So yeah, 2.5 hours to do this, and a lot of that time was monkeying around with the camera, because I want to be able to show you guys what's going on. But anyway, hopefully tomorrow after church we'll have enough time to flip these over, get the blocking on, get the metal on, and stand them up together. All right, I've only got the perimeter and the blocking that I have the ability to screw in. We're going to do the perimeter first. We've got our matching wood screws that comes with the metal, hex head. We'll be driving these in around the perimeter, then putting it, like I said, down the blocking, trying to keep it nice and light. Probably don't have to. Just... With this being a 16-foot wall and 3-foot panels, so we've got 15 feet of panels, and then the 16-foot wall, we've got a gap here. Isaiah and I are going to just build it, leaving that gap. We'll stand it up. And then I can take the time to cut a piece to match that later, but I can easily put up that 1-foot wide piece by myself. I'm just going to try to get the bulk built while I've got some help. All right, we're a little undermanned for standing this wall up. We're going to try this with the excavator again. I got a 10-foot 2x4, and this is a 16-foot wall, so I'm going to screw it in about halfway, a little more than halfway up the wall. And I'm going to do it with only one screw, so as we lift this wall, this leg will come out, and we should be able to kick it into place. As we stand this up, I'll have Isaiah get on a ladder on the other end, and as we get it close, prop it up at, it's going to finish at a 45-degree angle, but we're going to start it slightly higher so we can build the other wall, get it close, and then we can work them together and tip them back together. But we're going to stand it up a little higher than 45 for right now to have room for the other wall to come in. All right, here's what it's for. Let's go see if the excavator fits in. Don't get up in here. Kind of how we planned, just enough room to get through, clearance on the top, but then there's going to be plenty of room to put a wheelbarrow, shovels, building equipment, maybe a generator, I don't know. Obviously, if I'm going to leave other stuff in here, I will be building a front wall eventually, but right now we're accomplishing what we set out to do. Okay, we had a good day yesterday. Isaiah came out, helped me flip with the help of the excavator and Isaiah, we flipped the walls over, put the metal on, stood it up. It took longer than we expected, probably 4 hours. So I'm about 7 hours into this project now, basically done unless I want to put doors on the front, which I don't intend to do right now because again, this is going to be temporary and move it. Although with the effort it took to hang the walls, or stand the walls, it's going to take a lot more guys to move this to the other spot than I expected. Today I need to put the ridge cap on. When I bought these in the past, a lot of times for a flatter roof they just give you one that has just kind of a general bend, and so you know a crease where so you know where it is and you have to bend it over. But fortunately they asked me what the pitch of the roof was because this is a really steep one, and so they designed it to match my pitch. I forget what I told them. I did the math. It was a 1712 or something like that, which is very steep. So you know, on a flatter roof that you can walk on, like the older school roofs on houses, you know, I used to work on a lot of 512 to 712 pitch roofs, and anything lower than 712, which means 12-foot run with a 7-foot rise, that's a 7'12" or a 512, is pretty flat, easy to walk on roof without worrying about sliding off. This is way beyond a 1212. I think I said it was a 1712, but I don't remember exactly, so don't quote me on that. But they created the metal to match that, so I could just drop it on. I'm going to screw that on so that we don't have where the roofs come up, we don't have that gap right in the middle, and there could be a little bit of a leak. So we're going to finish this up today and move on with our next project. So thanks for joining me on the Flanagan Homestead, where Christmas trees are my business, teaching, including horticulture, is my job, and outdoor projects like developing this campground are my passion. Thanks for joining me. Be blessed.